Welcome everyone to another session on Current Affairs by Civils 360 IAS Academy. In this session, we will be discussing about Graded Response Action Plan, the Commission on Air Quality Management, as well as the different stages of GRAP, as well as Air Quality Index. So let's go into the topic. So the news that we will be looking at was that there was a deterioration of air quality from very poor to severe in the both in the national capital region as well as in the adjoining areas, and the Graded Response Action Plan was actually triggered. Okay, so to start off with, I will explain about the air quality index. So whenever you study about the air quality index, you need to know who actually came up with it, when it actually began, and there are different categories of air quality. So it was actually brought by the Central Pollution Control Board in 2014. It was actually part of this One Nation, One Description for Air Quality. It was actually part of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan mission. And it actually has, as you can see here, 6 air quality. It starts with good, it becomes what is known as satisfactory, and then it becomes moderately moderate, and then it becomes poor, then becomes very poor and severe. Even within the severe category you have severe plus as well. So air quality index from 0 to 50 it's actually good, 50 to 100 it is satisfactory, and 100 to 200 it is moderate, and from there onwards it is from this category, that is from poor, very poor and severe plus, you have the Graded Response Action Plan. So Graded Response Action Plan is triggered. It's actually it's given out, it's actually declared by the Commission for Air Quality Management in NCR and adjoining areas, and it is based upon the AQI, Air Quality Index, that is actually released by CPCB from 2014. So please understand, Air Quality Index released by CPCB from 2014, it covers a total of 8 pollutants. It covers a total of 8 pollutants. Please remember the pollutants as well. Okay, please remember the pollutants. We have particulate matter 2.5 and 10. Then you have a nitrogen dioxide as well as sulfur dioxide. Then you have ozone. Then you have carbon monoxide. These are the the 6 kind of pollutants that usually most our indices measure. But this 6 is there. Plus you have ammonia as well as lead. Okay, remember ammonia as well as lead. Okay, so these are the 8 pollutants tracked by Air Quality Index. So please remember 8, remember the 2014, remember CPCB, remember the categories. You remember that there are 6 categories. You have good, satisfactory, moderate, poor, very poor and severe. Actually severe plus is also there, but that is actually within the category of severe. And remember 0 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 200, the air quality index, and how each category is divided. So I will explain how this how air quality index is actually calculated, just for your additional information. So basically what the Commission for Air Quality Management, which actually declares the Graded Response Action Plan, based on this data from air quality index by CPCB. So what effectively CPCB does is that they will actually measure the amount of each of these pollutant in the air for the previous 24 hours across various cities. Okay, so for NCR region separately is there, GRAP is actually linked to that index in NCR, National Capital Region. So during that region, what happens is that before, that is previous day, 24-hour average of the previous day, the pollutant. So they will take a particular pollutant and they will measure the quantity of that pollutant in the 24 hours before the previous day. And so I will just put the table for your information. Okay, so this is basically this table. These are additional information just to help you get a complete picture as to how the process, how Graded Response Action Plan is actually triggered. So CPCB is there. CPCB actually uses data from various other indices, like we will discuss SAFAR, we will discuss about pollution control committees, and various monitoring stations are there. So data from all these will be used and to calculate the air quality index. So they will calculate Say for example, you have particular matter 10 micron 10, that is the diameter of that particular matter, 10 microns. So the 24-hour average of the previous day, so say it is like 25 microns, right? So PM10, okay, 25 micron. Okay, then this is actually a linear system, that is if it's 25, it means it is also 25. Air quality index will also be 25. Okay, so they will calculate these values for each of the pollutant, and accordingly they will actually map those values to the AQI range as well. It's not I'm not trying to explain the technical aspect, but just for your understanding, the worst sub-index, like for example, say during the previous day, particular matter, the content was like 25 microns, but say lead was like 3.5. okay, the content of lead is now 3.5. then this is the worst sub-index, right? So these are all sub-indexes. Okay, so this worst sub-index 3.5, it corresponds to very poor AQI, right? So AQI will become very poor. So what I mean to say is that the worst sub-index will reflect the total air quality index. So these are all just technical aspect. So but this data will be calculated and released by CPCB. So CPCB uses 8 pollutants, the sub-index from all these 8 pollutants they will use, and CPCB will declare the air quality index. Okay, so they will say whether the air quality is good, satisfactory, moderate, poor, very poor, or severe plus. Okay, and after that, according to that, the Commission of Air Quality Management, they will declare the graded response action plan. So that is how the process happens. Okay, so remember 2014, remember it is published by CPCB. It is actually part of the National Air Quality Air Monitoring Program, and there are 6 categories. There are 8 pollutants. Okay, for carbon monoxide and ozone, the previous average they will look at the previous 8 hours average. Okay, just it's slightly different from the 24-hour averages. So they will use 8 hour in case of carbon monoxide and ozone. Okay, and then okay, so sub-index is actually calculated based on health breakpoints, that is how much quantity of a particular pollutant is harmful for the body. That is the basis of the value that we just saw in the next table. Okay, so these values are all determined by the health breakpoints. Just remember, health breakpoints are the detrimental impact of the different pollutants to the human body. Okay, so just remember that bit. Okay, health breakpoints, and remember that the worst sub-index will reflect the overall air quality index. Okay, this is just for your understanding, just for your clarity. Okay, so now moving on to the graded response action plan. So just a little bit of history. It was actually initially brought out by Supreme Court in MC Mehta vs Union of India back in 2016, right? So that is mentioned here. It was actually approved initially at that time. From that time onwards, it actually acquired a legally binding nature, because we know, the law of the Supreme Court, the judgments of Supreme Court are actually legally binding. From so that period onwards, it became legally binding. Even now, it is legally binding. Okay, so 1989, there was another case of by Supreme Court, and that established the Environment Pollution Prevention and Control Authority, EPCA authority. So the EPCA authority, which was formed in 1989, began implementing the graded response action plan after 2016. Okay, and in the next year 2017 it got kind of like an executive statutory status because it got notified by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change under the Environment Protection Act. So that's another important point. It is our Greater Response Action Plan. It is both legally binding and it is actually notified under the Environment Protection Act of 1986. It was notified by the Ministry of Environment. Okay, so please remember that. Remember the case. Okay, remember it was under section 5 of the act. So EPCA, which was established in 1989, was actually implementing the Greater Response Action Plan. But after the Commission of Air Quality Management authority was actually created it was actually created in 2021. Okay, so it was actually created in 2021, and what happened after that? This body was actually abolished, and now the implementation of Greater Response Action Plan is taken over by the Commission for Air Quality Management. Okay, and the entire this system, like I said, it is actually based on the data published by CPCB. It also uses the dynamic weather forecasting of Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology as well as the IMD. That is actually SAFFER. So it uses data from SAFFER as well. So all this data is utilized to calculate the AQI. AQI is the basis for the Commission for Air Quality Management to declare the Greater Response Action Plan. Okay. So these are the different stages. So remember, there are 4 stages, each corresponding to the category of air quality index. So if the air quality index is now poor, that is between 201 to 300. Okay, 201 to 300, then the stage 1 will be triggered. Okay, so and if it is between 301 to 400, okay, it will become that air quality index is actually very poor, and stage 2 will be triggered, and after that you have 401 to 450. Okay, which is effectively the air quality index is saying that the air quality is now severe, right? So severe, stage 3 will be triggered, and after 450, which is something known as severe plus. Okay, severe plus air quality, then stage 4, which is the last stage of Greater Response Action Plan, will be triggered. So please remember the the different air quality values and the corresponding air quality category and the corresponding Greater Response Action Plan. So you can just actually visualize, or the gradation of the policies or measures that will be taken. In stage 1, they will be they say that the engine should not be idled. You should not just stop at the traffic and just you should switch off your engine. You should not keep the engine running. Then other things like you should keep your pollution certificate up to date should be there. Stuff like that is mentioned in stage 1. Then when it reaches stage 2, they say that air filters should be regularly upgraded, or it should be changed. Then people should use public transport. They should not use single transport vehicles. They should use mass transport. Then avoid open burning of fuels. Okay, then they again they use technology used for transport. Okay, so please, there is actually a schedule that is actually given by the Commission for Air Quality Management. Just go through it. It's pretty lengthy. I just gave a sample of that schedule here. This is what the schedule looks like. They say the stage, they will say the action, and they will mention the implementing agency. So after the CPCB air quality index, they will mention the Greater Response Action Plan will be triggered by the Commission for Air Quality, and they will send that order declaring the Greater Response Action Plan to different these implementing agencies. That is how the process takes place. So this is the stage 3. They say that combine trips, do not use coal and wood for heating purposes, and walk or use cycles. So just go through it so that you have a natural idea of how the steps are to be taken across different stages. This I just gave this portion here just for you to understand the implementing agencies. Okay, so just look at that. You have state governments, transport commissioners are there. You can see that there is a strict the measures. So ban on the commercial and demolition activities are also mentioned. So please go through the schedule. Okay, so this was the system of air quality and weather forecasting and research. Okay, this was the SAFFER that that was mentioned earlier. The Commission for Air Quality Management also depends upon the data released by SAFFER. So you need to know about SAFFER. So like I said, there is air quality index. In fact, the CPCB to calculate air quality index also uses data from SAFFER. So all these are part of the same ecosystem. So please understand, these are all used to calculate the final air quality index. But remember, it began in the year 2010. Okay, air quality index began in the year 2014. This began in the year 2010. So remember 2010. Okay, remember that it was actually developed by the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. So please remember that. Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. It was actually operationalized by Indian Meteorological Department. So please remember the two bodies associated with SAFFER. So please remember these two bodies, and remember, it's not a pan-Indian system. It covers real-time air quality for a few cities like this. Although it's expanding, please understand that it's not a pan-India. It does not provide data for the entire India. Okay, this is the important bit. You need to know the pollutants that they cover. Okay, so like I said, there are 6 fundamental pollutants that mostly all systems cover. They are particulate matter 2.5, particulate matter 10, which actually represents the diameters, the size of the particulate matter. You have carbon monoxide, you have ozone, you have nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide. So these are the 6 pollutants that most forecasting techniques or measures actually take into account. Along with them, AQI, air quality index of CPCB, measures lead as well as ammonia, right? But here there are additional 4 pollutants including benzene, toluene, xylene as well as in mercury. Okay, so a total of 10 pollutants. Okay, so remember 10 pollutants. SAFFER covers 10 pollutants while AQI covers 8 pollutants. Okay, so please keep all this information in mind. Also keep in mind nitrogen dioxide. It's actually a pollutant. It's not a greenhouse gas. Okay. Nitrous oxide is actually a greenhouse gas. Okay. This is the greenhouse gas. Okay. This is not a greenhouse gas. Okay. This is not a greenhouse gas, but nitrous oxide is a greenhouse gas. This is actually a pollutant. Okay, nitrogen dioxide is a pollutant. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Okay, so these are certain things you have to remember for prelims perspective. You have the National Air Quality Monitoring Program, which is executed by CPCB since 1984. So it was the first program that actually take into account air pollution. 1984 National Air Quality Monitoring Program, and it covers only 4 pollutants: PM 2.5, PM 10, as well as oxides of nitrogen as well as sulfur dioxide. Okay, it covers 4 pollutants. National Ambient Air Quality Standards. Remember, this is not a system to actually monitor and record the data on the pollutants. It is simply a system. It is simply a system that actually setting the standards that are there. Okay, standard of pollutants. Okay, so it covers 12 pollutants. Remember 12. Remember, it was in 2008. Remember, it was declared. It was actually brought by CPCB. National Ambient Air Quality Standards by CPCB 2008, and 12 pollutants. It actually covers, like I said again, the previous 6 primary pollutants like PM 2.5, PM 10, carbon monoxide, ozone, nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide. Plus you have ammonia, lead, benzene, benzopyrene, arsenic and nickel. Okay, so please remember the 12 pollutants. Remember, this is not actually a monitoring system. It simply set the standards, the healthy standards for these 12 pollutants. Okay, so this is just how the CPCB actually collects data. It uses the state pollution control boards as well as the pollution control committees. It actually uses the continuous ambient air quality monitoring stations as well. Then you have the National Environment Engineering Research Institute. Then you have the IMD, Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. Okay, so these are all part of the same ecosystem. Okay, so for National Capital Region and the adjoining areas, the data from either from this IATM or IMD, as well as from PCC pollution control committees through these monitoring stations, all these will be used to for calculating the AQI by CPCB. After that, the the Commission for Ambient Air Quality will actually Commission for Air Quality Management will declare the graded response action plan. So please remember that. Then you have the air quality early warning system. It was developed by the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. It was just to track the stubble burning, to forecast where the next fire would be, all those things. So please just understand these different ideas related to air pollution. Okay. So coming back to the Commission for Air Quality Management for NCR and adjoining areas. So like I said before, earlier you had the Environment Pollution Prevention and Control Authority, EPCA was there. Okay, EPCA was actually established by the Supreme Court back in 1989. Okay, and it was actually running, or it was actually implementing the graded response action plan until 2021, until this body was constituted, after which this was dissolved. So this is an important body. So the first important point, it is a statutory body. Remember the history, it is replacing the EPCA. It actually allows coordination across multiple states, because the National Capital Region is spread across different states. You have Punjab, you have Haryana, you have Uttar Pradesh, right? So to coordinate among all these states, you need an umbrella organization. This is the umbrella entity. So it ensures there is no siloization among the different authorities. It is accountable only to the Parliament, and it has powers to give legally binding directions. Remember the composition. Its chairperson is actually a secretary, either a person who is a secretary rank or a chief secretary. Okay, he holds the post for 3 years. Until the age of 70 years. Then you have 5 ex officio members, okay, who are associate secretaries associated with environment protection in the states of Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. Okay, then you have 3 full-time technical members from CPCB, Indian Meteorological, I'm sorry, IMD is not there, ISRO is there, ISRO and Niti Aayog. So the technical members from CPCB, ISRO and Niti Aayog. Then you have 3 members from NGOs. So remember the composition of the body as well. Okay, so that's all. Okay, so here there's a sample question. So let's solve this question. In India, the system of air quality and weather forecasting and research, SAFFER, is developed and managed by. So we saw SAFFER and we know that it's not associated with CPCB, right? We remember that AQI, air quality index, is associated with CPCB, and SAFFER is actually brought by it was actually brought out by Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology and is operationalized by Indian Meteorological Department. So this is actually, you can actually eliminate option 4, right? So basically if you use elimination, we can immediately reach 1 and 2. So please 1 and 3, sorry, 1 and 3. So please keep that in mind. So this is an elimination technique, and it was in 2020 there were like 23 questions. So please be use your logic to eliminate options. Okay, so for UPSC mains, you have in GS3 you have a small topic, but it has a lot of weightage. So you have the conservation, environment, pollution and degradation, environment impact assessment. So this is the micro topic, and air pollution is actually a favorite theme for UPSC, both for prelims and mains, especially for mains. So study these topics related to air pollution quite thoroughly. So this is a sample question. Critically analyze the design and implementation of the graded response action plan in Delhi NCR. Has it been successful in reducing severe episodes of air pollution? So here they ask critically analyze. So effectively you have to first you have to start off with GRAP. You have to say GRAP. Just give a background. Who publishes it? What are the different stages? It is a proactive measure. Remember that GRAP is a proactive measure. Okay, proactive measure. It's not a reactive measure, it's a proactive measure to prevent further deterioration of air quality. So you have to analyze the design, that is the link between air quality index categories as well as the stages. You have to measure that. You have to measure the mention the implementation, right? How implementation takes place. Yeah, the Commission of Air Quality uses this data to publish the stages, and it will send the mandate to different implementing agencies. Okay, so they will have the implementing agencies have to do the necessary things under that plan. Okay, so that is you have to mention first. Then you have to say the critically analyze, right? So you have to say the design and implementation has been successful, but there are drawbacks. So you have to say, okay, the design is good. You have the design and implementation is good. You have to say give certain points, but then you have to say design has certain issues. The implementation also has certain issues. Okay, you can use common logic, but if you study this graded response action plan, you will know that it has as of now we see that it's not actually not too effective, because Supreme Court actually asked the Commission for Air Quality Management to become more proactive. Okay, so because it's lacking the effective political heft to push through its its legal directions, because of the different state governments are there are political issues there. So that is an issue, right? So you can in the second part you have to say whether it has been successful. It has been successful because after a few days of graded response action plan, the air quality is improving, right? But you can say it is not successful because in times of winter, when adverse weather, topological factors also come, the graded response action plan, it's actually losing its effectiveness. So when you prepare for mains, ensure that air pollution, it's an important topic. So when current affairs, topics like these come, ensure that you are making it into notes. Ensure that you are studying it effectively. Okay, so that's all from my side. See you in another session on current affairs. Thank you.